Every morning you wake up and your feet feel numb before they even touch the floor. That is not poor circulation from sleeping wrong. That is glucose silently shredding the smallest blood vessels in your body. Did you know that right now, at this very moment, over 96 million American adults have prediabetes, and 80% of them do not know it? That is 1 in 3 adults walking around with fasting blood sugar high enough to erode the lining of their arteries, damage the nerves in their extremities, and accelerate cardiovascular disease by a decade. And they have never been told. Every 21 seconds, someone in this country is diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. But here is the part that should infuriate you. By the time that diagnosis arrives, the average patient has already been living with elevated blood sugar for 7 to 10 years. 7 to 10 years of arterial damage that nobody caught because nobody looked. You went to your doctor. You got your annual blood work. Your fasting glucose came back at 108 and they said it was fine. They said to watch it. They said come back next year. And while you waited, that 108 became 118, became 126, became a prescription for metformin and a lecture about carbohydrates. You did everything right. You trusted the timeline they gave you, and the system let your arteries pay the price. But what if I told you there is a single leaf, not a drug, not a supplement capsule, not an extract from a laboratory, a leaf that has been used in traditional medicine for centuries and that modern peer-reviewed research has now confirmed lowers fasting blood sugar, reduces arterial stiffness, and improves endothelial function through a mechanism so elegant that pharmaceutical companies have been trying to synthesize it for over a decade? Today, I am going to show you the exact biological pathway this leaf activates, the specific studies that prove it works, and the precise protocol, dosage, preparation method, timing, and food pairings to use it safely and effectively after 60. I am Dr. Catherine, and after 23 years in clinical and surgical practice, I believe you deserve to know about the solutions that nature provides before the pharmacy adds another bottle to your counter. Drop your country in the comments. I read every single one. Blood sugar does not respect borders, and I want to see how far this community stretches. The leaf I am talking about is the olive leaf, not olive oil, not the fruit. The leaf of the Olea europaea tree. And before you dismiss this as folk medicine or internet nonsense, let me walk you through the biochemistry, because the mechanism is extraordinary and the research is recent, specific, and published in journals your cardiologist reads. After 23 years in medicine, when I open someone's chest in surgery, I can see arterial damage with my own eyes. I can tell you whether the endothelium, the inner lining of the artery, has been preserved or whether it has been ravaged by years of elevated glucose. The damaged endothelium is rough, inflamed, sticky with plaque adhesions. The preserved endothelium is smooth, elastic, and pink. The difference between those two states is not genetic luck. It is biochemistry, and olive leaf extract targets the exact biochemical pathway that separates them. Your blood sugar damages your arteries through a process called glycation. When glucose levels remain elevated, even moderately, even in the pre-diabetic range, sugar molecules attach to proteins in your blood and form compounds called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. Think of glycation like a raw egg cracked onto a hot sidewalk on a summer day. The clear liquid protein turns white, hardens, and becomes permanently rigid. That transformation is irreversible. The same thing happens to the proteins in your arterial walls. Once glycated, they lose their flexibility. Your arteries stiffen. Your endothelium becomes rough and inflamed. Plaque adheres to the roughened surface. And your blood pressure rises because rigid pipes cannot absorb the surges of pressure from each heartbeat. A 2022 study published in the Journal of Cardiovascular Pharmacology found that circulating age levels in adults over 60 with prediabetes were 43% higher than in age-matched adults with normal fasting glucose. 43% more arterial damaging compounds circulating in the blood of people who were told their sugar was a little high and to come back next year. Now here is where olive leaf enters the story. Olive leaf contains a polyphenol called oleuropein. Oleuropein is the compound responsible for the bitter taste of raw olives before processing. When you consume olive leaf, either as a tea or a standardized extract, oleuropein enters your bloodstream and does 3 specific things that no single diabetes medication accomplishes simultaneously. First, oleuropein enhances insulin sensitivity in skeletal muscle cells. Your muscles are the largest glucose sink in your body. When your muscles become insulin resistant, which happens progressively after 60 due to reduced physical activity, mitochondrial decline, and chronic low-grade inflammation, glucose stays in your blood instead of entering muscle cells where it can be burned for energy. Think of insulin as a key and the muscle cell receptor as a lock. In insulin resistance, the lock is gummed up. The key fits, but it will not turn. Oleuropein cleans the lock. A 2021 study published in the journal Phytomedicine found that olive leaf extract containing 136 milligrams of oleuropein daily improved insulin sensitivity in adults with type 2 diabetes by 28% over 12 weeks, as measured by the HOMA-IR index. 28%. That is a meaningful clinical improvement achieved by a leaf. Doris, 70, a retired bakery owner who spent 42 years surrounded by flour and sugar and swore she would never become diabetic because she always ate in moderation, came to me with a fasting glucose of 138, an A1C of 7.2, and an arterial stiffness score, measured by pulse wave velocity, in the 89th percentile for her age. Her doctor had started her on metformin 500 milligrams twice daily 3 months earlier. Her fasting glucose had dropped to 124, but her arterial stiffness had not changed. Dr. Catherine, the metformin brought my sugar down, but I still feel like my body is getting harder inside. My legs ache after walking 2 blocks. My feet tingle every night, she told me. She was visibly defeated. Her fasting insulin was 19, hyperinsulinemic despite the metformin. Her CRP was 5.6. The metformin was managing glucose but doing nothing for the arterial damage that elevated glucose had already caused. Drop a comment right now with just your age. Nothing else. I want to see who is watching this because the second mechanism I am about to explain is the one that separates olive leaf from every blood sugar supplement on the market. Second, oleuropein directly inhibits the formation of advanced glycation end products. This is the mechanism that makes olive leaf fundamentally different from metformin, from berberine, from cinnamon, from every blood sugar intervention your doctor has discussed with you. Those interventions lower the glucose level. Olive leaf does that and simultaneously blocks the downstream damage that glucose causes, even at moderately elevated levels. Think of it like a firefighter who not only puts out the fire but also coats the surrounding buildings in flame retardant so they cannot catch fire from the embers. The glucose is the fire, the ages are the embers. Olive leaf fights both. A landmark 2022 study published in the European Journal of Pharmacology found that oleuropein reduced age formation in vitro by 52% at concentrations achievable through oral supplementation. 52% less of the compound that turns your arteries into rigid pipes. A second study in atherosclerosis in 2023 measured arterial stiffness in 112 adults aged 60 to 78 with prediabetes and found that those who consumed olive leaf extract, 500 milligrams daily standardized to 20% oleuropein, for 16 weeks showed a 14% improvement in pulse wave velocity compared to the placebo group. 14% improvement in the measure that directly predicts heart attack and stroke risk. Be completely honest right now. Has your doctor ever measured your arterial stiffness or your age levels? Write yes or no in the comments, because if the answer is no, your sugar may be controlled on paper while your arteries are still deteriorating underneath. Here is where the science gets genuinely interesting. Third, oleuropein stimulates nitric oxide production in endothelial cells. Nitric oxide is the molecule your arteries produce to relax and dilate. After 60, nitric oxide production declines by approximately 50% compared to your 30s, according to a 2021 study in the journal Aging Cell. This decline is one of the primary reasons blood pressure rises with age, even in people who eat well and exercise. Your arteries lose the ability to relax. Think of nitric oxide as the lubricant in a door hinge. When the hinge is well oiled, the door swings open effortlessly. When the oil dries out, the hinge rusts, the door sticks, and every time it opens, metal grinds against metal. That grinding is what happens inside your arteries when nitric oxide drops. The walls cannot relax, blood flow meets resistance, and your heart has to pump harder to push the same volume through. A 2023 study published in Vascular Pharmacology found that olive leaf extract increased endothelial nitric oxide synthase activity, the enzyme that produces nitric oxide, by 37% in human arterial cells exposed to high glucose conditions. 37% more of the molecule that keeps your arteries flexible, your blood pressure manageable, and your circulation reaching your feet, your fingers, and your brain. If you have made it this far, type "I finished" in the comments below. It tells me this information is reaching people who actually need it, and it helps YouTube share this with more people whose arteries are silently stiffening. Now let me give you the exact protocol I give my own family members. This is specific, this is measurable, and every element matters. Step 1. Olive leaf tea, prepared correctly. Buy dried olive leaves from a reputable organic source. Place 15 to 20 dried leaves, approximately 5 grams, in 350 milliliters of water heated to 85 degrees Celsius. Not boiling. Boiling water degrades oleuropein by up to 30%, according to a 2022 analysis in the Journal of Food Science. Steep for 12 minutes. Strain. Drink 1 cup in the morning on an empty stomach, 30 minutes before breakfast. Drink a second cup in the afternoon, at least 2 hours after lunch. The empty stomach timing is critical. A 2023 study in phytotherapy research found that oleuropein absorption was 41% higher when consumed in a fasted state compared to with food due to reduced competition with other polyphenols and fiber for intestinal transport. Step 2. If you prefer a standardized extract over tea, look for olive leaf extract capsules, standardized to 18 to 20% oleuropein. The clinically effective dose in the studies I have cited is 500 milligrams daily, delivering approximately 100 milligrams of oleuropein. Take 250 milligrams in the morning and 250 milligrams in the afternoon. Do not take the full dose at once. Splitting the dose maintains more consistent blood levels throughout the day. Step 3. Pair your olive leaf with vitamin C. A 2021 study in antioxidants found that co-administration of 200 milligrams of vitamin C with olive leaf polyphenols increased oleuropein stability in gastric acid by 33% and extended its half-life in the bloodstream by 28%. 1 small orange or half a kiwi consumed alongside your morning olive leaf tea provides more than enough vitamin C to achieve this effect. No supplement needed. Step 4. Monitor your fasting glucose weekly with a home glucometer. Take the reading at the same time every morning before your olive leaf tea before eating. Record the number in a journal. After 4 weeks, calculate your weekly average. If your average fasting glucose has dropped by 10 or more points, bring the data to your doctor and discuss whether medication adjustment is appropriate. Do not adjust medication on your own. The olive leaf protocol works alongside medication, not as a replacement without supervision. Step 5. Request a pulse wave velocity test or a carotid intima media thickness test at your next cardiology visit. These tests measure arterial stiffness and wall thickness directly. They cost less than most imaging studies, and they provide the one piece of data your fasting glucose cannot, whether your arteries are actually improving, not just your blood sugar number. Pay very close attention here. This is where most people go wrong. Olive leaf can interact with blood pressure medication and diabetes medication by enhancing their effects. If you are on amlodipine, lisinopril, metformin, or a sulfonylurea, starting olive leaf without informing your doctor could push your blood sugar or blood pressure too low. A 2022 case series in the Journal of Clinical Pharmacy and Therapeutics documented 4 adults over 60 who developed symptomatic hypotension after adding olive leaf extract to existing antihypertensive regimens without medical guidance. Start with half the dose, 250 milligrams per day, for the first 2 weeks and increase to 500 milligrams only after confirming no excessive drops in blood pressure or glucose. Doris, the retired bakery owner, followed this protocol for 14 weeks. She added olive leaf tea twice daily, paired with a small orange every morning. She maintained her metformin. She monitored her fasting glucose weekly. At week 4, her average fasting glucose dropped from 124 to 112. At week 8, it dropped to 104. At week 14, her A1C had fallen from 7.2 to 6.4. Her pulse wave velocity improved by 11%. Her CRP dropped from 5.6 to 2.8. And the tingling in her feet, the symptom that terrified her most, had reduced from nightly to twice a week. Dr. Catherine, I spent 42 years baking bread for other people's families. Now a leaf from an olive tree is giving me back the body I need to enjoy my own family, she told me. That sentence reminded me why food and nature still have answers that pharmacies cannot match. Walter, 74, a retired plumber whose hands diagnosed leaks by touch for 36 years, had been losing sensation in his fingertips for 2 years. His A1C was 7.6. His fasting glucose averaged 146. His endothelial function, measured by flow-mediated dilation, was in the 18th percentile, severely impaired. He started the olive leaf protocol alongside his existing metformin and a daily walking routine. At 12 weeks, his fasting glucose averaged 118. His flow-mediated dilation improved to the 41st percentile. His fingertip sensation, tested by monofilament, improved from detecting only the 10-gram filament to detecting the 4-gram filament. Dr. Catherine, I fixed my grandson's kitchen faucet last Saturday. I felt the washer between my fingers for the first time in 2 years. I sat on his kitchen floor and thanked God for an olive tree, he told me. His nerves were not dead. They were starving. The olive leaf fed them. Your blood sugar is not a death sentence. Your arteries are not beyond repair. The damage you have been told is permanent is, in many cases, reversible, not with another prescription, but with a leaf that has been growing on this planet for thousands of years, and that modern science has finally validated with the rigor it deserves. You are not too old. You are not too far gone. Your body has a remarkable capacity to heal when you give it the right tools. You now know more about glycation, endothelial function, and olive leaf pharmacology than most patients who sit in a cardiologist's waiting room. That knowledge is your independence. That knowledge is your dignity. That knowledge is the life you worked for. Think of one person right now, your partner, your brother, your dearest friend, someone over 60 whose blood sugar keeps climbing no matter what they do. Send them this video right now. Not after dinner. Not when you remember. Right now. That share could be the reason their next lab report finally changes direction. If you have not subscribed yet, hit that button now. My mission is bringing you research-based health information that is accessible, practical, and life-changing. That is what every video I make is designed to do. In my next video, I am covering the 3 breakfast mistakes that spike your blood sugar before 9 a.m., and I guarantee you are making at least one of them every single morning. You do not want to miss that. I am Dr. Catherine, and your health is the only metric that matters. I will see you in the next consultation.